Hello, Vanakkam, Madhara, Namaste. This is Ashwin Sivasubramaniam, and I am here joined with Prof. VKJ to discuss a very disheartening news. As soon as I woke up today, I got to see a very upsetting news about Sabarimala's crowd rush, actually. So, there a 58-year-old lady also collapsed and died from Kozhikode. And this news is so upsetting because this is the peak season of Sabarimala pilgrimage. And this, how can I say it, lethargic mismanagement led to devotees waiting over 15 hours in the Pampa without much of a basic necessities like proper drinking water, food, and even a place to sit and rest clearly. But isn't it surprising to know that even after having almost 6 to 10 months for preparing this season, they miserably failed to start this. So can we have a discussion on crisis management?
Sure. So this is, it is crisis. It's a crisis that has been managed or mismanaged or whatever you call it. But in management, we look at it as a crisis.
Yes, sir.
So you said 6 to 7 months for this year.
Yeah.
But a stampede or something going wrong. The board has had the experience of seeing over many decades. I've also been, visiting Sabrimala several, maybe 1.5 decades before. And it's a very fond season, and where we always get to know when others have visited and come back. We ask, the very fond questions about our memories over there. How was the crowd? How was the darshan? We get what were the arrangements made? How long did it take?
Yes, sir.
But something of, a stampede. And then I think I differ with the news, because after checking, the lady didn't die out of the stamp, but she died out of, she collapsed in Pampa.
Yeah.
Okay. But some will think that it happened at the Sanidana. So that is one clarification. And most of the thing, if you look, it is not, I don't know if you can call it as a stampede, because there are two technical terms. A stampede is when a group or a set of people trample over others.
Yeah.
So it's a sudden surge of people moving from one spot to another spot, where a stampede can happen.
A complete chaos.
But whereas there's another technical thing, we call this as a crowd crush. Too much of crowd and there's no place to go.
Yes, sir.
So the crowd crushes one another. So it's a crowd crush, and someone who's weak falls and then they get crushed by the crowd.
Yes, sir.
So now a crisis is something which shouldn't happen. Okay. But experience tells that a crisis can happen. And the question is how prepared you are. But then we call this preparation before the crisis. But once the crisis is setting in,
yes, sir,
then what we would say in management is, it is something like there is a huge risk and complexity in that situation. There's a lot of risk and complexity involved on one hand. And on the other hand, the outcome is uncertain. You have uncertain outcomes. So decision making has to happen in this zone, and that is where your crisis management has to take place over here.
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's a tough decision that the board has to take, or whoever has been the police, the DSP or the authorities over there. They would have had a very tough time or situation, because what usually happens is something new happens. Unexpected, a surprise happens. And this surprise that happened overruns over your preparedness and your resource management or your time management. So I think this is what happened. Okay, as it happens in any other case.
Yes, sir.
So they were, now the question is, what was the surprise or what was the new? One surprise is a sudden surge in the crowd. Probably you're expecting 5 lakh and then 4 times that comes and lands.
Yes, sir.
So what were the unexpected things?
So one, obviously, the people who booked through virtual queue, who happened to arrive a bit early than their expected arrival time. The second one is almost, which happened a month before, where Draupadi Murmu visited, President of India, Draupadi Murmu ji visited Sabarimala for her pilgrimage, and around September 20th, I think so, Sabarimala Travancore Devaswom Board conducted a huge grand scale global ayyappa sangamam. which was supposed to be a celebration for this temple. Yeah.
So that was, they spent several crores and all that. And I think it was something, what was their 70?
It was their Platinum Jubilee.
Platinum Jubilee, they say. So, well, that celebration happened. Now, these two things were the new things that happened before this crisis. Right? So, one, let's take the first one. The president's visit is something which is very exclusive, well systemized, well done. That means you have the nation's top authorities over there taking care of that. So I wouldn't relate that with something over here to lose the focus in this whatever happened. So that can be taken clear off the grid.
How, sir? Because as we have seen in our Indian history, whenever a president, prime minister comes and visit a place, the entire place is completely systemized, just like you said, properly cleaned, properly managed. So doesn't that make the preparedness very more powerful?
Here there's a slight clarification. Yes, the system is cleared, everything is prepared. The question in management is for what? For whom?
For the president.
For the president.
Yeah.
Not for 20 lakh devotees. See, there's a difference.
Yeah.
The head of the state visiting, that is something very exclusive. That is something very exclusive, and it's not a routine visit. It's probably once in a blue moon. Okay? Or even rarer than that. But this is something that happens routine. So these two are mutually exclusive events. Statistically speaking, you don't have to relate these two.
True.
You can keep that aside.
Got it.
But then the other one which happened, I think 2 months, I don't know if you remember the date.
September
20th. That was a global event where the government has participated, plus the Travancore Board, Devaswom Board has also.
They were the organizers.
They were the organizers. So that involved a lot of people coming, and this event happened in Pampa.
Yeah.
Okay. So now here is the point. Yes, there will be a clearing and other things, but then, see, there is a chain reaction. See, someone coming from Erimali and then passing through Karimala, there is a route that has to be cleared. Okay. And then again from here over the Nilimali, and then you go to Saranguti, and then to that, again, there is a lot of work that has to be done. Now, what the board has is, board has limited resources. The resources are not unlimited. There are limited resources, and you had 60 days before, you had this where a lot of resources in terms of time, in terms of manpower, in terms of planning goes into that, event. Which means once that is over, and then what you will do is, yes, these are things routine. We know that the crowd is starting Mandala. So then, where is the thorough checkup of all the arrangements? There has to be a thorough checkup. So that is where the lapse happens.
But
which was pointed out by the High Court.
But isn't the exact duty of management to make sure that these things are under control?
See, yes, the duty of the management is duty of a non-profit or a profit organization. This is what we do. But there is a human factor. There is a civic factor. There is a human factor. And that is why we say there is uncertainty, outcome uncertainty on one hand, and the risk is there. We understand the risk, but the thing becomes more complex because something new comes. There's an element of surprise. It's not just the huge surge in crowd, but there's a change in your calendar.
Got it, sir. Yeah.
There's a change in your calendar where probably one thing what the board could have done is conducting the global meet. The board could have said, we will have 2 people who will represent that, or we will just come. But the event has to be done by the ministry or somebody else. You do it.
Some cultural organization.
You outsource. You let it off. Because there are other issues happening. There are other issues to do. So this is typically what can happen to an individual. You have a sudden, important and urgent work. Therefore, you postpone your routine, important work. I repeat. You have a sudden, important, urgent work. Therefore, the individual postpones
the
routine, important work. And you postpone because you say, it's routine, I know it. But then that is where the element of surprise comes. It comes from that route, it will come.
So
which came as a huge crowd. It was a temporary confidence. Actually, the board has a huge, rich experience of handling so much of crowd. In fact, this event, they have seen even far worse or bigger events than this, what we are talking, what happened. Okay, much bigger events, bigger crowds they have seen.
True.
When at a time 20, 30 years back, there were not this many resources also. So they have seen all that. But this has happened means at least what I would say is the crisis was curtailed. It was contained. It didn't become a bigger event.
Yeah.
It was managed, just like what happened in Kumbh Mela. There was a thing, but then it was contained. And I think the official ministry and all others, they must have worked their backs off. So we should, although they got a tap on the wrist,
yes, sir,
from the High Court, which is something. Okay, now I think it's a lesson learned.
So since this crisis happened, how do you think it can be prevented in the future? Because in the end, every devotee present there, almost 2 lakh devotees, had a very crushing experience to the fact that they were scared and sharing their experience that they might not come next year.
Again, they'll come, all that. So that was put by the media. And see, usually, these sort of emotions or high emotions, outbursts, that does happen. When you don't get a proper darshan. You come for so long and all that, even 2 seconds we are not able to stand there to get the darshan. Okay, that is very, there are a lot of emotional things. But still, in spite of all this, the crowds seem to be only increasing. The Kannisamis or the ones that are coming first time, the numbers are only going up.
Yeah.
Okay, this is itself something miraculous. So what I would say is, the solution or something like that. One is foremost the good old solution, standard operating procedures. You ensure that you have the SOPs in place.
Yeah.
Okay, nothing like that. And have records. And ensure that when you say the SOPs, that also includes the communication. That means they announce through the loudspeaker and other things. But expect the unexpected. Even though you give a virtual token and say this is the date on which you have to come for darshan. Everything is so systemized. If you take Tirumala, TDD, it is so systemized. But some lapse can always happen. The question is how quickly you put it off. You have a boat, little water can come, but how quickly you are able to stop it. The resilience part. And I think that the board has done
they have rewarded very quickly actually.
They have done a good job. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So they have done a professional thing. That's what it looks over here. But the anger will be there. People will have that because they went through that.
Yeah.
And public memory is always short.
And even political parties are taking this as an agenda to
that will happen. We in a pestle, in an MBA or management, we look at the pestle, political, economical, social. We look at all that. But here we will not go into the politics of it. But just look at crisis management. And so one is this one, the standard operating procedure. The other thing which is a lesson for the board to learn, which they did probably in the 75th or 50th year or whatever, is that conducting an event. See, who you are there for the pilgrims, for the temple, for the resources of the temple, and your boundary is defined. Which means anything new that you are going to do as something new, it is not a Makara Velakku or a Mandala Puja or the Visu, or it's not something like that.
Yeah.
Influences global meet where you want to make it as a global thing. So actually what the board should do is, you should say you want to make it global, so let the center take care of it. We will be the advisory. The Travancore Board, we will monitor, we'll be the advisory, but then their celebration also came, I think, the 75th.
It's a 75th.
So something that they took, but somewhere here, if you don't want crisis to happen in future, somewhere the leaders, the top head, you have to draw the line. You have to draw the line that this is where you are, that not that you shouldn't cross, which means a global influencers meet. It should have a national level participation also. That means what was the center doing? The center should, I'm sure they are there, but they should say we need the following things, we'll take care of this. So anyway, this is where the boundary is blurring or something is not clear. So how I would look at it as a management professional is, a little focus went on into doing something unique or different. As a result, your routine preparation, there was a laxity.
Yes, sir. So through this conversation, I could understand that this Global Ayyappa Sangamam, if managed properly, could have helped or assisted in avoiding the situation very well.
Definitely. And culturally speaking, the devotee who lost her life, may we pray that yes, she joins Lord Ayyappa, and may goodness prevail.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.